Hello and welcome to this episode of Minnesota Drummer. I am your host, Paul the Rod Rodney. And on this episode, I have Petar Janjic. Welcome to the show.
You got it.
All right, I got it.
That intro was dope.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I love that intro. Love that intro.
Is that you?
No.
Still
No, so what have you been up to? So recently, well, first of all, to give you some background, you're a local drummer who moved to Nashville about a year ago.
Yeah, it's kind of a year ago, but yeah, we can say a year. Let's just call it, be safe and call it a year.
But your real story starts way back in Serbia.
Yeah, born and raised in Serbia. My whole family's still there, and believe it or not, my dad's a drummer as well.
Okay.
So kind of that's where the roots start, from him kind of passing on to me, and basically going to a Serbian music school in my hometown called Kingstown, or Kraljevo in Serbian. Over time, my dad, right in the beginning when I was turning 10, he tried to teach me how to play, and kind of give me pointers. And the father-son relationship kind of never works, I don't take him seriously, and then he gets mad, and mom gets mad, and just the whole house gets mad at me for not getting it right. So over time, he just realized he just needed to take me to someone else. And he took me to one of his best friends, a great Serbian drummer, one of the sickest, like a pioneer of Serbian kind of, if P-Funk and Jimi Hendrix had a band, that's how the Serbian rock music was.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And his name is Slobodan Stojanovic Kepa, and he took me to him, and that was my teacher for the first 5 years of my professional drumming career, I guess.
Okay. How old were you at that age?
Say what now?
How old were you at that time?
10.
10, okay.
Yeah,
So
I had interest for drums when I was 5, because my dad would have his Ludwig set up all the time, and I would, with no pushing or anything, I would just hop on, and I could basically do. But he was right-handed, I would do right-handed, but kind of open and just kind of sound like it would be sloppy anyways. And the first thing we would do on my first lesson, I would play on a right-handed kit, and my teacher would be like, wait, hold, something's wrong here. He flipped it, like he's left-handed.
Oh, wow.
And that's come. I don't know if it's flipped over there or not. I'm a lefty.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's saying.
Yeah, we won't hold it against you. No. Oh, by the way, I want to back up to the rhythm. I had an opportunity to tell you who was playing the drums on that. It was Alec Tackman.
Awesome. Sick.
So he's a local drummer. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he's another jam and local drummer. So it's pretty awesome.
Pretty dope.
Yeah, what's really interesting is that in America, we heard a lot about Serbia, especially through 1992 to 1995.
Yes.
The war. Did you experience any of that?
A little bit in the 1999 era. Basically, I was 9 years old, and that's when we got bombed by NATO. And yeah, that was an interesting time for sure. It was something like I was literally like don't want to go too much into talking, but
yeah, I want to hear it.
I was kayaking with my buddy Scott Mulvihill that I play with here in Nashville a lot with, and he opened up the last Corey Wong tour for us, an insane singer-songwriter, and he was basically just asking me questions about that, and like just in general what the community and what this country, the United States, is going through right now with everything happening.
Right.
And in general, we were just talking, hey man, it's really actually good to be alive. And I know the situation is messed up with everything going on, with the pandemic, with everything. And I was just kind of reflecting back, like, yeah, he would ask me the same question. And like, yeah, I lived in a shelter where bombs would fly and there was no power, no access to anything. But we were still, somehow we would figure out how to be happy and how to fight through everything, through like the whole situation. I just remembered I was never like extremely down,
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, and it was just always trying to, and I think music has to do a lot with that, having access to a Walkman and just listen to music all the time. So that's how I spent most of my time in that situation, was just listening to a lot of music.
What were you listening to at that time?
Prince, James Brown, a lot of Weather Report. Oh man, a lot of Joe Zawinul. And I know if any of my Minnesota buddies are now, they're just gonna make fun of me for saying that. But yeah, I love Herbie too. A lot of the Thrust record was huge in at like that time for me too. So
Okay. It's just interesting because we had this perception in America that American music was not really getting over to that part of the world. So
it was. Oh my God, my dad had such a huge collection of basically Billy Cobham, Weather Report, and I started listening. Started listening to that when I was 5. I don't know why they can't come in here. Like I could have just went on the couch and chill.
No, this is awesome. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. American. My dad was a huge like influencer of American music and and basically British music as well. So a lot of Deep Purple, all kinds of. But James Brown was really huge in our household. He had every single James Brown record, and he definitely forced that upon me, and I'm grateful for him for the rest of my life.
Yeah, you're a fantastic funk player. It's just I get so inspired watching you play. I just want to talk a little bit more about your childhood because growing up in America, we didn't experience any of that, right?
Yeah, and honestly, if I had pictures to show you, like basically I would practice at this garage. If you blew a hard wind, that thing would just combust, and I could only because Serbia has a lot of apartments, not much houses.
Okay.
There are houses, but not as much. It's heavy apartment living. I would practice at this garage, and I could only do it from 11 to 3. And after that, I would get the neighbors would call the cops on me. I was 12 years old, and it was 3:20, and I was playing. I just zoned out. I didn't know what the time was, and basically 3 police officers came, and they got like a huge noise complaint, and they were like they got freaked out. They're like, and they walked in and saw a 12-year-old on the drums, and they were like, what's going on here? And my dad came. It was not very lived, so this garage was where my grandparents lived, and everything was extremely close. So my dad came from work, and they were like, what's the problem, officers? And it was like literally one of his childhood buddies that called the cops on me. It was hilarious. And he was just, really? It's 3:20. It's not that big of a deal. And but I experienced a lot of that. And I would practice at that time for basically 2000 till 2005. I had a schedule, like basically school. After school, we would finish right at noon. I would bike to the garage, and every day from noon to 3, I would practice and then go home, do homework, potentially squeeze a video game. That was a questionable thing, but yeah, that was the schedule for the 5 years of that until high school hit. And then in high school, it was a music high school. It had to be basically in Serbia. When you go to high school, it's kind of college already. So that's when you choose what you want to do in life. You go to an economics high school, you go to a medical high school. I went to a music high school where I had to learn piano and solfege and theory. And I did great. And then I moved to America and kind of let everything go and totally diss all my piano skills. And so I'm just terrible at it now.
Well, when you came to America, I just got one more question. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm still I can't get past the whole point of the bombing. Well, you know what I mean? Because it's just, so when you were a kid, was that just kind of like part of your normal upbringing? How young were you and how long did that go during your life?
Well, what are you talking about?
In Serbia, the bombing.
That was only basically 4 months.
Oh, okay.
It lasted for 4 months and it stopped. Literally, I don't know what happened, but it literally lasted for the four months time span. And literally a year after, everything was back to normal. You would when it's a pandemic and everything happened, like, I'm so chill about it's gonna go back to normal, but probably no, this might stay forever. But yeah, it's honestly, I'm just an optimist, and I'm always positive. Everything's like, I'll be done. We'll be back to normal next year.
Okay, well let's talk about this. So did you come to Minnesota immediately when you came to America?
Okay, so this is going to be a long story too.
Okay.
Sorry again.
No.
Who probably know me and they've probably heard this multi-million, billion times, whatever. But so in again, early age. My first gig was when I was 10. I played a gig. I would go on tour I remember going on tour when I was 14, and I would leave school. My parents would call the principal, and they would make an arrangement that I can leave on Thursday as long as I catch up with the work. So I would leave. It's basically touring in Serbia was like a weekend warrior thing.
Okay.
You go out Thursday, you come back. Last show on Sunday, you come back early Monday. So I remember the band would come pick me up from high school at whatever at like noon. I would dip, go on tour, and Serbian shows are insane. Like they last forever, and they're loud, and everybody still smokes.
Yeah.
Overall, I had a blast. I loved it. But the thing is, I would come back. Literally, we would drive back at 7 a.m. on Monday. They would just drop me to school.
Okay.
So I had my homework and at my work, everything. And that lasted for like 2 months. And then when the first semester got done, sorry, Mom, I had 8 Fs.
Oh, no.
I was failing school hard for that first semester. Yeah. And my mom was like, yeah, this is not. I remember she came back from the parent-teacher meeting, and I didn't report. I was always telling Mom, I'm crushing it. I'm doing great. Because I didn't want to lose the gig. I wanted to do this. I literally, I would do anything to hide this, and I managed to hide it, and then remembered, oh yeah, that's gonna happen. Sure enough, she called the band leader and like, yeah, you guys need to find another drummer. He's done. And back to her, super grateful because I finished the school. Mm-hmm. I crushed it over there and got everything I need to get from that school to be able to come to the States.
Okay.
Bring us to the States. Again, always mind blowing with American music. I even knew when I was 10, I need to come to America. When I saw the first modern drummer, the 1997 modern drummer at the VHS, I'm like, I need to be where this is at. I need to be where Steve Gadd lives. I need to be where James Brown's from, where Prince is from. And I would always annoy my parents. I need to go to America. I need to go to America. And they were like, what is this kid talking about? We're not going to go to a freaking country that just there was a war. Are you serious? And sure enough, I'm 17. We found out at Berkeley, we have a Serbian, his name is Gojko Damjanic. I don't know if he's still there or not, but he was in the admissions office. And we found another buddy that lived in Boston who knows him, and basically started talking to him about going to Berkeley. Mm-hmm. And I recorded a DVD, and we sent him the DVD, and he's like, this is it. Yes. Push this. We will make sure everything happens that needs to happen. So he gets a scholarship, and he makes it here. And another thing that he said, he needs to finish high school in America so he can avoid a TOEFL exam and an ACT. Okay. And we're like, okay, I'm just my junior year in Serbia. Like, perfect. This is perfect timing. Let's apply. He sends us to an agency. Let's start applying. And he did give me a heads up, my parents a heads up too, that it's kind of late. Like, the applications are out, and he doesn't know if I'll get in high school. Okay. And I did. There was one high school that was open. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Harrisburg, South Dakota, which is right next to it's a suburb of Sioux Falls.
Yeah.
I got in. And my parents were like, where's Sioux Falls? I was like, I don't know. Where is it? I Google it. The first thing that came up was X-Files, Crops, and Mount Rushmore. Oh, Mount Rushmore in Serbia. Mount Rushmore's huge. That's like, frick, yeah, that's probably they're partying hard there. That's dope. Yes. Sure enough, I said, we agreed to it. I'm going to Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I'm going to finish high school in Harrisburg, and I'll avoid all that thing they need to avoid to go to Berkeley. Yeah, I remember like it was yesterday, man. At the airport, saying bye to my family, like nothing. Like, it's so chill. I'm like laughing. They're like crying. Mm-hmm. My first flight going overseas, land in Chicago. O'Hare is huge. I'm like, what is this? Like Chicago's big. I'm like, no, this is the airport, dude. This is not Chicago. I get like, I'm confused. Where's my gate? I go to a Delta clerk, whatever. Excuse me, sir. I don't know where my gate is. Can you help me out? He looks at my ticket. Oh, Sioux Falls, man. Have fun. In my head, I'm like, sick. This guy's in it. He knows. He knows what's happening. I didn't know anything about American sarcasm. I'm stoked in the plane. I land. I'm like, what's that smell? The meat factory is like right next to the airport in Sioux Falls. It was just, oh gosh, what's happening? Believe it or not, I'm so positive and happy I made it work. I had one of the best years of my life. I made such great friends and met a drummer, Dan Heyer, and his teacher was Chuck Case. So this will connect pretty soon here. I'm talking to Goiko and telling him everything, like Sioux Falls is great, as it great can be. What do I need to do? What's the next step? And he's like, you need to do a proper audition. We'll make everything happen. Just fly to Boston. I'll help you out. You'll be hooked. And I'm like, perfect. When is that? August. Well, frick, my visa expires in June. I don't know what to do. I'm like freaking out. Like, can we make it happen earlier? We can't. There's no chance we can come earlier. We cannot make an exception or anything. And I was prepping for Berkeley. I didn't know how to read. So this is the thing. I did not know how to read drum music or sheet music for drums. So I found out from my high school teacher, Jason Grun, that Chuck Case, who's Dan Heyer's teacher, knows how to read. And sure enough, I paid Chuck for like multiple lessons, teach me how to read. I do not know how to read. Prep me for this audition. And knowing that the Berkeley thing fell through, he started talking about McNally Smith College of Music, that a student, Dan Heyer, goes to McNally. I'm like, awesome. I'll figure out who's in admissions there. Dan works in admissions. So I set up an audition at McNally with freaking Gordy Knudsen.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God. I freaked. Steve Miller Band. Of course, my dad played every Steve Miller Band tune in his band. And I'm like, yes. So awesome. I'm doing this. I paid Chuck to drive me to Sioux Falls because I could not drive. That was the only agreement. Stupid agreement by the International Student Exchange. They don't let you drive. Really?
Yeah.
I drinked. Come on, guys. Seriously? In Serbia, you drink when you're 14.
Wow.
You can't. I mean, it's illegal. But you technically, it's 18, like everywhere else in the normal world. Anyways, Chuck drives me. I meet Gordy. One of the best moments of my life was just hearing Gordy play and getting my mind blown. And our audition was like an hour and a half long. He would just play me this, do this, play this groove. Will you like do something of your own thing? Like, I'm like, oh, I do Serbian music. This is like 7/8 popular in Serbia, 9/8 popular in Serbia. So, and he loved it. And awesome. After the audition, he was like, you need to come here. You got it. And I'm like, what's the tuition? And he told me the number. I'm like, Serbians don't make that in 10 years, yet alone in 1 year.
Right.
You don't make that money. And I told him like, maybe I can afford 1 year. And my parents would have to, I would like need to get a job, and for sure. And my parents would definitely need to sacrifice a lot for that. And they really did sacrifice a lot just to let me go and paying my airfares and whatnot. Sure enough, Gordy's like, well, the last scholarship was the Diana Ross scholarship. That's the full ride, and it's gone. It's taken. So we don't know what we can do. No promises. Let me try and work some magic, and I'll give you a call.
Okay.
And I'm like, frick, this might be it. I might be going back to Serbia. And this is like March.
Okay.
And like I have April and May. Like I'm somewhat like already like it was fun while it lasted. I'm like in my head, I'm like, it's over, whatever. I'm done. I'll go to Serbia and just figure it out over there what to do.
But wait, why couldn't you get an extension?
You can as international student. It's like an exchange program, so you only last. It only lasts like all your high school program lasts, so you cannot get an extension.
Got it.
Thus far, a month passed. My phone rings. Gordy Knudsen. I'm freaking out. It's Gordy. What's gonna happen? I'm like freaking out. He says, "Can you come back to do another audition?" I'm like, school choir, like band thing is happening. Frick, I'm gonna go to my music teacher and can you refund me for that trip that I had with the choir, whatever, with the band, so I can pay somebody else to drive me to Minneapolis again to audition again?
Mm-hmm.
The coolest dude. Yes, here's the money back. Good luck.
Wow, awesome.
Yeah, you let me just do it. And on top of all, the school Harrisburg let 3 other students, because I could not find anybody else to drive me, let 3 other students to come with me to Minneapolis.
Cool.
And we drove to Minneapolis, walk in the room, and I will never forget this. It was Gordy, Dave Schmallenberger, Paul Stieber, Herschel Mears, Cliff Bistruck, and Jack and Doug. Also, Terry had his bass, and on keys it was the late Peter Shimke.
Wow.
Yeah. And all those guys are sitting, Peter and Terry are like, all right, St. Thomas, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Ah! I'm like, okay. And I'm playing with these giants, and they're calling tunes off, and I'm just, all right, drum solo. All right, keys and drums. And it was just me and Peter. And Peter was out of his freaking mind, man. Peter, everybody who knows Shimke was just, and it was just, okay, this is just intense.
Right.
Gordy was like, all right, man, you did great. I'll give you a call in 10 days. So I'm driving back to Sioux Falls. I'll tell you what. Gordy's such a gangster. In 10 days, he calls me. We came to an agreement. You get a full ride scholarship.
Wow.
Here's the documents. Give me your email. Kathy Hawks will come in touch with you. She's the admissions like in charge. Literally, I got the documents. Went back to Serbia to see my family, and went to the American Embassy to restamp my passport with this new school visa. And in 2009, I became a Minneapolis, St. Paul resident.
Dude, that's such an awesome story.
Sorry.
Totally to your talent. That's so fantastic.
It's definitely an adventure, I'll tell you that. It was an adventure. And then, now, like, I remember first time walking to McNally, I was like, I belong here. And even the Berkeley guy, Goikos, said, finish 1 year there and let's transfer you. And I'm like, no, I'm not transferring. No way in hell I'm going to transfer. This is so dope. Because I can call Gordy on my phone anytime I saw him. He was so welcoming, and it was always a 2-3 hour conversation, and I could ask him anything, and he helped me a lot. He gave me so much gear to start me off, and so much books, and he just said, man, put the work in and everything will happen. And till the day to day, I will say Gordy Knudsen is on top 5 drummer list. Not just because he's an amazing person, but just also as a drummer, how much he blew my mind, and technique and posture and all of that, how much he influenced me in my playing.
That's absolutely fantastic. So here's what I want to do. I want to take a break for a minute because I want to show people one of your performances. The first one I want to do is the Cory Wong, Been a While.
Yeah.
Can you please introduce this piece before I play it?
Been a While. Wait. Oh yeah, that's Emily Browning, I think. So she's, and Cory was featured.
Okay. Yep. Cory was featured. Yep.
Yeah, and basically we did a tour in 2019, and amazing singer-songwriter from New Zealand, Emily C. Browning, decided to open, Cory got her to open the tour, and one of the deals, like, my band's going to be your band. And she fell in love with all of us playing her music, that she ended up coming back to Minnesota after tour, and just, can you guys track my tunes, please? And
oh wow,
we did it at Essential Sessions at Brad Matala's spot in Shoreview.
Okay.
And it was awesome. And actually, the band, Kevin was on vacation, so Tommy Barbarella was on keys, and Kevin McIntyre was doing another tour with Ben Rector, so Ian Allison played bass, if I'm correct. And then
here's the video.
And Corey.
Perfect. Well, here's the video.
Yeah.
Has it been a while since you've been in love? Has it been a while since you've been in
Fantastic. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was that. I didn't see that in forever, so that's fun. That was fun.
So I was going to ask you. So you started going to school. You became a teacher, and then during that time period, you also started playing out in town and started, being a replacement drummer for some of the top players in town. Can you explain that transition?
Yes, of course. So, frick, check it out. I'm looking at the time. It's 6:34. Unfortunately, I have a gig, so I want to be fast and get all these topics right and together. So,
Well, wait, you have to leave, right? In about 30 minutes.
If 7 is good.
Okay.
So, Gordy, first year at McNally, Gordy goes, cool, man, you'll make it happen. First thing what you do is you buy a car. You need a car. Like, don't worry about the drum set. I didn't have a drum set my first year. I just used the McNally drum sets that were at school.
Okay.
Get a car. That's your first investment. I invested. I got a PT Cruiser. It was great because he drove a PT Cruiser. Like, I'm gonna get a PT Cruiser, whatever. Start going out. He gave me spots. You want to go to the Dakota Jazz Club. And Gordy played some shows there, and I got to see him play. You want to go find where the open mics were, and there was an open mic night at the Blue Nile, if you remember that spot. And then he says, "You're 18, you're 19. It'll be fun to see you go to Bunkers on Washington. That's where the magic happens. That's where the music hang is."
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, first night with my buddy Jose Pena, who also went to school there, bass player from Venezuela, insane. All right, man, let's go to Bunkers, man. We can do it. I'll get you in. And like, dang it, I'm so stoked.
Yeah.
I get there, and this is funny because all these people that were at the door, it was the bouncer. We called him Magic Mike, Mystic Mike. Big dude is like, your ID, man. I have a passport. Wait. You're not even of age. You cannot come in. And I just look at the window and I see a China and a ride symbol just blocking. I'm like, oh, God, this is amazing. I want to be inside. I'm like freaking out. What do I do? And then Jose says, hey, dude, the bass player is Johannes, and he does the Blue Nile thing on Tuesdays. You should check that out. And that's 18 plus.
Okay.
I started going every Tuesday to the Blue Nile and started sitting in. And Johannes is a freaking sweetheart. Like, every time he would make sure I play, they have enough time to flip the kit to the lefty side, just move the hi-hat. And he would always make sure I get to play, and we would play for like 20 minutes, and it would be so much fun. And he would, after that, I would go to Pizza Luce with him, and we would grab a root beer, and he would get the vegan slice, and I would get the pepperoni slice. Dude, I remember this like it was yesterday. And which is freaky. And we would hang and talk. And I said, I heard at Bunkers, there's this band playing. And yeah, man, it's Michael Bland on drums, Billy Franzi, Bill Brown. It's good. You should come. I'm like, I tried, but I'm not of age. Come back this week, and here you call me and text me when you're in front. I go, I walk in, and Michael's on stage. You gotta understand this. I had Prince albums. Mm-hmm. I'm like freaking out, but I did not know Michael Bland is Michael Bland from the Prince albums. Okay. I'm like, oh, Michael Bland. Some guy that plays, his name is Michael Bland. I didn't put two and two together.
Okay.
It's hilarious. And as I'm looking the band and looking at this man play, I'm like, where did I see this? I've seen this face before. Like, what's going on here? And I asked Johannes, and I'm sitting like in the middle, and Michael sees me staring like a little creep. Like, I'm just staring at them, and Michael Bland played with Prince, man. And come meet him. And as I'm walking, I'm putting two and two together. Like, wait, what? And he go, hey, man. And I'm like numb. Like, I cannot say anything. I'm like, I forgot English. Like, I don't even know how to say anything. What's your name, man? I play drums. What's your name, dude? Petar, whatever you ever, Petar. Man, come here, man. And I climb the stage. What's your name? Like, Petar. Where are you from? Serbia. And it's a fanboy / like I froze. I literally froze.
Well, yeah.
You play drums, do you? I'm like, yes. How do you know? Well, I see you staring at me the whole set. I figured out you play drums. And I'm like embarrassed. How old are you? I'm like, I'm 19. And he looks at Johannes like, do you go to McNally? You're like, yeah, Gordy Knudsen kind of I gave him the story that I gave you. All right, man, what do you want to play? You want to sit in? And I'm like, no. I'm lefty. I'm left-handed. I cannot play. You're a kid. Well, you got to play, man. I know you can play. I'm like, come back next week, and how about you play September? You can play that song, right? You know September, Earth, Wind, and Fire? Yes, I know September. I went to the McNally. I flipped the kit. I started playing September every freaking day, 2 times a day. I come back next week. He's like, all right, man, come up and play, man. And I thought Mike was going to stand, like, sleep. He gets up and just sits down and starts looking at me. And I'm looking at him, are you going to count the song or what, dude? There's people here. I'm like, I am 1, 2, 3. Gotta be louder than that, man. So Michael counts the song and 1, 2, 3. It was nerve-wracking. I'm playing backwards. Ride's up here. I'm just and he's just kind of grooming and staring at me.
Yeah.
And after that, he was like, all right, man, you can come here every week if you want. He talked to the guy, and he made it cool. What did I do? I literally, so this is 2009, 2010. I literally went there every week for 3 years straight. 2 years straight. I didn't miss them. I don't think even Michael was actually at one point mad that I'm there every week and like, what is kid? Do you have a life? Because I would stay till literally he's off stage so I can just talk to him for like 5 minutes before he leaves. And it was insane. He was like, you're other, because I would go to school at 7 a.m. and I would be until 3 a.m. 2 a.m. whatever. And yeah, at one point, Johannes' car broke. They had a private gig in Red Wing at a bar. So Johannes is my neighbor now. We're in Roseville together and calls me, hey man, you're in Roseville. Can you come? Can we take your car to Red Wing? Mine's at the shop, whatever. I have a combo gig, so I'll make sure everything's fine. What happens? I walk into this bar in Red Wing and Michael sees me like, no, what? What are you doing here? How do you even know about this gig? And Johannes, no, man, he drove. I had to take his car. It was a blizzard. It was insane. Michael taught me so much. I cannot even stress how much that man helped my change in life and helped my playing develop to where it is today. Because I would constantly now sit in. Hey, man, play what you're going to do for me. I would start learning the combo repertoire. And one night, he pulled a fast one on me. No, not a fast one. He just, I think, was trying to figure out what can I take and what can I not take. Okay. Called me up to sit in. All right, man, time to learn my money, man. Let's play some. You got to sit in, man. Cool. What do you want to play? I'm like, Best of My Love? What you going to do for me? Free? Any of those? You play those already, man. Let's see. I Got Dreams to Remember, Otis Redding. I'm like, I know it. I heard it millions of times, but that song is slow. I'm on this kit. My tempo is like. After I was done, I knew that's not what he wants to hear. And of course, yeah, I know, man. Hey, man, listen, if you're going to play like dead silence, if you're going to play slow tempos like that, might as not well come and sit in again. I'm like,
oh no, you'd be crushed.
Bill Brown looks like, man, you sounded good, man. No, he didn't. He did not sound good. You do not listen to him. I'm the drum. You did not sound good. If you're gonna play slow tempos like that, don't come back and sit. You don't need to sit anymore. And that's when I literally shut myself in the practice room. Circles, Luther Vandross, Bobby Womack, Donny Hathaway, I Love You More Than You'll Ever Know, any slow song backwards. I would raise the right symbol up there backwards, play for like an hour every day until next week. And they sat in again. And he looked at Bill Brown. I remember, like, see, this is what happens. Young man has has chest on his hair. Yeah, no, his hair on his chest. He's gonna be the last samurai. And literally a week after that, he played Sunday night, and he told his tech, Maddie, "Hey man, pack the gear. Pack the gear. Petar's playing tomorrow night." And I'm like, "What?
Wow.
Yeah, man, you got the gig tomorrow night. It's time to see if you can do it or not." And since 2011, I started playing like full-time subbing for Michael until I basically moved to Nashville. And over time, he started trusting me, sending me to sessions he could not do, and basically any gig that he's busy, he would send me, and I cannot thank that man. And also, my first kit, I got it thanks to Michael.
Oh, really?
My Yamaha recording custom that I still have today.
That's fantastic. So, hey, I want to take another break. I want to show a video of you performing with Dave Koz. Can you introduce this piece?
Is it Friends at Sea?
Well, you guys doing a solo together.
Oh, that just came up? Like, the solo together, was that yesterday? Not yesterday, that was it.
You sent me the video link quite some time ago. It's you guys on stage. If somebody took it with a cell phone.
Oh, that was Corey Stewart. There's a crazy story about that, but
yeah,
it's Corey just started pitching this idea that we want to go on a smooth jazz cruise, and somebody should tag Dave Koz in every single videos of ours. Sure enough, Dave is like, "Yeah, sure, I'll go see these kids play." So Dave came to our New York gig. What he didn't know is we learned one of his biggest hits. And he played the two songs that he originally wanted to play with us, Corey's songs. And then Corey's like, he was about to leave the stage. And Corey's like, "Well, Dave, this is our audition for the cruise." And we just played that song, and we learned his live arrangement. And he was like, "What?" He even had his like alto, because he plays soprano on that song. And he was freaked out that we knew the arrangement exactly. And we went last year on the Dave Koz cruise.
Wow. So how many times did you work with Dave when we see this video?
That was my first time playing with Dave.
Unreal. Okay, people, sit back. This is the magic of Petar. Here we go.
One of our fellow Minnesota drummers needs our help. Eric Ballard's daughter, Emery, has been diagnosed with leukemia. Emery was diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia on August 17th of this year. Emery's current treatment plan consists of her receiving aggressive chemotherapy and then a bone marrow transplant. Eric and his family ask that we follow Emery's progress on their designated Facebook page. A link to the Facebook page will be in the show notes of this episode, and they ask that we keep Emery in our prayers that God will heal their daughter. And this is a point where we can help. Any size donation that we can make will help with monthly expenses and medical bills. I ask you to consider any size donation, even a small amount will help. In these times, I know money's tight. Any size donation is valuable. This is crowdfunding at its best. A link to where you can donate will be on the show notes of this episode. Eric Ballard is a prominent drummer in the Minnesota drumming scene. Please consider donating today.
Welcome back. And again,
please donate and help Eric. He's a great guy. And what a cause. If anything really does help. And oh my God, please, I want to stress, help out.
Thank you. Yeah.
For the video, I'm sorry, I got to correct that. That was literally a month ago, a month and a half ago. So
okay,
it's my bad. I did not realize which one I sent, but that's actually the fourth time we were ever playing that. And that's the cause Corey band played. This is our maybe fifth performance together in general. So we didn't get to play with him that much on the cruise either. So I guess I would say that was my fifth or sixth time playing with Dave.
But that is phenomenally amazing. Were you improvising?
Yeah, 100%.
Wow. So like, who was the original drummer on the original piece?
There's multiple out there. There's Jay Williams did one. That's the version we saw. And it's always different because Jay plays differently. And there's another version with what's his name? I forgot the drummer's name. But when we did it, Dave was like, wait, are we going to do a drum saxo? Like, yeah. And Dave loved it so much and loved my playing that we just we just did a record with Dave in creation this last month. And he actually asked, can we do this piece live in the studio? So we did that. And it's completely different.
Wow.
It's all improv. We talked through it on the session, but that you saw in talk, we're gonna just, it's going there.
Dude, it was just amazing. And so how did you develop your coordination between your limbs, your hands and your feet coordination? It was amazing.
Simple exercises. Honestly, it's nothing like, what's the time? 6:53. I'm with a kid, so I can show you.
Yes, please.
Basically, the classic single exercise. Simple as that. Nothing too complex, honestly. It's sorry. Simple as that.
I didn't see that. No. So, but you don't use double bass, do you?
No.
Yeah, because that's all single foot. Because that's just really impressive.
I mean, thank you. It's everybody like it's the basic Porcaro slide, and it's not. I do kind of tend to practice. Dennis Chambers has a great exercise. The old Dennis, I think it's in the pocket DVD, but. That's when I was in Serbia. Like that was the go-to. Chambers in Steve Gadd in session. That was one of the DVDs I kind of worn out. But yeah,
man, it's killing me that you got to go to a gig tonight because I know you got to leave in like 6 minutes. We got to hang this up. But
I don't know how the schedule is. We can do a part 2. Would love to do a part 2. Because there's so much, probably more that I can talk about. But
dude, I love it because your story is so inspiring, and your ability to play is ridiculous. And I want to learn more about what you do, and also just the amazing things you've done. Now, one quick question. We'll get to gear for a second here.
Yes.
You recently transitioned to Meinl. How long ago was that?
That was last year too. As soon as I moved to Nashville, I kind of transitioned to Meinl. Nothing Paiste is great. They make great cymbals, and I still would always say that they make amazing cymbals. It was just the switch with Meinl was great because number one, amazing product. I love what they offer, and I actually just got this Dark Crash Bisons I'm really enjoying it right now. But anyways, what made the switch was at Pisces, they were constantly going through transition with the A&R department.
Okay.
So artist relations. And I did not know anymore who to go with. And then I met Chris Brewer from Meinl here in Nashville, who lives literally 15 minutes away from my house.
Okay.
And Chris, let me buy you lunch. Let me buy you coffee. I buy him coffee. We talk. And it's like I develop a friendship with a person who's in charge of the whole US for Meinl. And
wow.
And that's kind of the most important thing is a good relationship. And I can call him literally right now and say, hey, Chris, my splash cymbal broke. Can I come over, stop and replace it? And he made sure I'm treated great. And it's a great relationship. And I think that's what's the most important thing with any company and any artist is the relationship, then everything else, quite honestly. Of course, the product needs to be good. Don't play something that you don't like. But yeah.
Who else are you endorsing right now?
I'm endorsing Rick Firth as of now still, and that's since 2014 or 13. I kind of lost track about that one. Remo, I have a slight deal with them. It's like 60% off, 65% off a drum head.
Okay.
I might as well say it. I'm now officially on the Risen Drums roster. I've been playing their stuff, and they make some of the sickest drums on the planet. And I've been a Yamaha dude since I was basically playing drums. My first set in Serbia was a Yamaha set. And it was one of the toughest transitions for me, but Risen makes so much. A relationship that I have with Grady and Tim at Risen is insane. And anytime in Minneapolis you need a kit, we got you, bro. What you need in Nashville, we got you, bro. Anything you need, we got you. And hey, can you make a kit for me right now? And yeah, sure, what you want? 10, 12, 16? How about by 6.5? And look at these toms. I mean, come on. This is a 12 by 6.5, a 22 by 10, a 16 by 10. Insane. And their drums are just easy to tune. Awesome. Really dope. Another brand I'm endorsing, they're called Rootsy Q's. They're basically cloths for toms, snare drums. Remember, do you have a snare drum cloth? It's packed. But basically a full cloth like this for the snare. And that like basically makes a tom kind of little. There's a little ring for the studio. It's freaking dope. And even for live playing.
Oh, that's fantastic. So what series of Risen drums are you using?
We don't have a series right now. We're working on something. I don't want to talk a lot about it, but you can probably guess. But no series right now. We're definitely working on something soon. Okay.
Well, I know you have to get going. I want to play one more piece, and I was wondering if you could introduce this last song, "Limited World," and then I'm
awesome.
Hoping to have you come back on again very soon.
Yes, would love to continue. Let's say we stop at drum gear and whatever, so we can continue.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. So can you introduce this piece, and then we'll close out the show?
Yes, this was a 2018, I think, recording of Corey Wong's The Optimist album, and the session was Ricky Peterson, Cody Fry from Nashville, Sonny T, of course, and Corey. We did a session at the Library Studios. And even before that, it was an instrumental. And then Corey would envision, man, Caleb Hawley, singer also from Minnesota, resides in New York, would sound amazing on this piece. And we recorded a session. And afterwards, the Hornheads came in, dropped the horns. Caleb recorded individually from New York. And this was in the winter of 2018.
Well, it's fantastic. And hey, have a great show tonight. And I'm looking forward to talking to you soon.
Sick.
All right. You take care.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Bye.
Straight up to the gate, I don't wanna be late. Uber man, I gotta pay the catch. Time to make an escape, ain't it gonna be great when they read my name? Yeah. Time to show this little time what they've been missing. Should've never ever listened to the rhythm of the person. They were never gonna have it my way. Get up, take a seat. Ooh, it's not what you think. Baby, living in a limited world, baby, living in a limited world. Baby, living in a limited world, baby, living in a limited world. Baby, living in a limited world, baby, living in a limited world. Take your time and learn a little about what you can do. You were gonna be sure, come on so fast. Ooh, now you're dropping names, trying to make it late.
Yeah, man, check it out. I was hanging with Corey Wong the other day.
Oh, such a number one address. Do.
Yeah, we're pretty tight now.
But you gonna burn out if you go to bed.
Play that.
Baby, living in a limited world, baby, living in a limited world. Baby, I ain't seen nothing yet. Baby, living in a limited world, baby, living in a limited world. Don't you believe in what you do? Baby, living in a limited world, baby, living in a limited world. Baby, living in a limited world, baby, living in a limited world. Baby, living in a limited world, baby, living in a limited world. Baby, living in a limited world, baby, living in a limited world.
In the 1980s, Eccentric Systems developed a cam for bass drum pedals, becoming the standard design for many of today's pedals, including the popular GW9000 series of pedals. The Quick Torque Cam is an aftermarket add-on that can be installed on just about any pedal without any permanent modification. Its unique adjustable design maximizes the efficiency of any force you apply to the pedal, returning the beater 30% faster while providing more impact. This is a cost-effective way to breathe new life into your existing pedals. Be eccentric. Visit eccentricsystems.com to get yours today. Opening beats provided by Alec Tackman. You too can own this fantastic multi-volume library of live drum loops and samples. Whether you're a drummer looking for new ideas or you know a songwriter looking for a drum loop library, this is the library you're looking for. Support a local musician and drummer. Go to Alec Tackman's website. That is www.alectackman.com. Spelled ALECTACKMANN. Are you looking for a drum instructor that will help you find your own musical voice? Whether you're a beginner, advanced, or in between, the David Stanek School of Drumming offers an experienced and professional approach to help you take control of your drumming. David served on the faculty of McNally Smith College of Music for 27 years. Currently, he serves on the Percussive Art Society Drum Set Committee and is a member of the Modern Drummer, Remo, and Vic Firth education teams. David has authored multiple books including Mastering the Tables of Time. It was voted the #1 education book in the Modern Drummer 2009 Readers Poll. Let David help you find your beat. Please visit www.davidstanekschoolofdrumming.com. David Stanek is spelled DAVIDSTANOCH, schoolofdrumming.com. Again, the David Stanek School of Drumming. You've been listening to Minnesota Drummer. Minnesota Drummer is copyright 2020, all rights reserved. Any content played or viewed during this broadcast is used with permission, is copyright of the respective owners, and is used for promotional purposes only. No part of this broadcast can be edited, reproduced, and cannot be sold. Please look us up and follow us on our various social media sites. You can follow us at minnesotadrummer.com. There you'll find our contact forum where you can give us feedback and recommend a drummer. Thank you for listening.